Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed in Rockingham. It's the 13th of October.
You were going to say September, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. And here we are on the feed. Today we have Matt Meserve is going to be with us. He's going to talk about Working Fields, a program that's new out of Turning Point in Springfield. But first, Marty, with some local events.
Lots of local events today. Thursday night, this week at the Bells Falls Opera House, is a free showing of the locally filmed and locally edited, too.
Yes.
Right? Locally edited, and it's a long entry, The Atomic Attack of the Son of the Seaweed Creature.
Yes.
So, filmed back in 2000.
Filmed in 2000. On film.
On film. That's why it took so long to edit.
On film. In 2000. Anyway, go ahead.
Edited in 2018, and they're doing a free showing. And I'm going to guess that some of the folks that were in it are going to be there.
Yes,
So,
I think a lot of the cast
Yeah.
is going to be there. It's actually the cast is sort of sponsoring the event, and then the producer who wrote, directed, starred in, and edited will be there. I think he's going to say his name is Brett Allen Fessenden. He's going to speak a little bit
Nice.
beforehand to talk about this whole process. It is. I mean, I've watched it, and it is a crazy campy movie.
Campy movie?
Yes.
And that's at 7 p.m. So that's, again, it's a free showing. It's at 7 p.m. at the Bells Falls Opera House. Tonight at the Bells Falls Opera House is Rear Window, sponsored by Tom Call. Next Wednesday is The Fountainhead, sponsored by Green Mountain Traffic Control. And the last Wednesday of the month, the 27th, is The Birds.
Yeah, another
Classic
scary.
Alfred
I
Hitchcock.
can remember when that came out. It was so scary.
Eesh, no kidding. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it on the big screen. That's sponsored by JP Trekking. This weekend up at the Rockingham Hill Farm is the Flannel Festival. On Saturday, the hours are 11 to 5. On Sunday, it's 11 to 4. There's music, there's craft beer, there's pies, there's vendors, there's food trucks.
Yes.
There's a cornhole competition in conjunction. Rockingham Rec is helping with that. There is pie bake-off. I have a sense that maybe the Smiths might be entering
We've
a pie.
been researching pies for the last week. I've had to be the test.
Oh, you've had to be the tester.
I was doing my part. I had to try all these apple pies, and Sue's come out with a revolutionary technique that I don't know if she's going to unveil it or not.
Well, you probably shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying it's
yeah,
revolutionary.
And then this Saturday is the induction into the Terrier Hall of Fame. They're actually inducting 2 classes. They're going to announce the folks at the football game Friday night. It's a home game.
Neat.
I think it's the last home game, and it's a big game with Springfield, so it's
Oh
always a big
boy,
rivalry.
yeah, that is the big game.
So the 2020 class inductees are Chad Illingsworth, Chris Hodgson, and Mary Farino. And the 2021 inductees are Heather Warius, Kim Wilkinson, and Jim Holton.
Wow.
So congratulations to those folks.
Yeah.
They join a community of 49 other folks that have been inducted, and their goal is to recognize people that contribute to the Terrier community.
Great.
So I think that's it.
That's it for local events?
Yeah, that's it for local events.
Well, I want to introduce Matt Meserve. He's with us today via Zoom. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Nice.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so usually you do this part. So I'll take over. So what we'd ask you to do, Matt, is just tell us a little bit about who you are, and then maybe start talking a little bit about Working Fields and how you got connected with Working Fields.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Matt Meserve, and I'm the account manager for the Working Fields office in Windsor County. I got connected with Working Fields due to I have a pretty lengthy history in human services and mental health services and disability services. but I'm also in long-term recovery from substance use disorder. So I actually just celebrated 8 years, which is fantastic.
Good.
And yeah, so it's been really wonderful to kind of combine my passions of human services, but also now work in the recovery field professionally for the first time.
Yeah. So Working Fields, I guess technically is a staffing agency, but it's a unique staffing agency, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about, I guess I should, maybe people don't know what a staffing agency is, but maybe you could tell us what that is and then what makes Working Fields unique in the field of staffing agencies.
Yeah, sure. So your traditional staffing agency will has contracts with employers and will then work to place individuals there on kind of a temporary trial basis. And then the hope is at the end of the contract that that person converts and becomes a full-time employee of the company. So we operate in that manner like a traditional staffing agency. But really where we differ is our commitment to those that we place and support. So we are a mission-driven staffing agency that we really focus on people who have barriers to employment. We work a lot with folks with substance use disorder. We work a lot with folks with criminal backgrounds, but really anyone that has any barrier that keeps them from getting a job or getting the job that they want. So we really believe in people. We believe in our ability to grow and change, and that everybody deserves a second chance, and that having a job and being productive and useful and is a big part of recovery, and it's a big part of feeling good about yourself and self-esteem and self-worth. And a lot of people with these challenges have just been kind of marginalized and aren't given that second chance. So we're out there trying to change the stigma around that.
That's great.
And and we've had some really good success.
Nice.
Because I guess you sort of hit on all of the aspects. Because work is so important to us. It's a sort of many people, especially in America, I guess, or in the United States, work becomes your identity. It's like when you first meet somebody, they don't say, where are you from? They usually say, where do you work or what do you do? And so we so often see that as our identity. So it's such a nice thing that you're working on people to help them move toward that. And I guess the other thing that's unique is as you work through, you assign recovery coaches, right? Which is like a job. Are they a job recovery coach or a both an all
All-inclusive recovery?
all-inclusive sort of idea?
Yeah, so the recovery coach, it's an amazing program, and so a recovery coach is someone's main. They're a cheerleader, they're a support, they're there mainly to listen more than they talk, and to help people strategize around what's going on in their lives, specific to employment and those barriers, and how can we strategize and find resources to, remove those barriers, but also what are their goals in their life? What are they working towards? And a recovery coach is just such a great resource, to talk those things through, and they're certified and they're trained in motivational interviewing and listening, and it's just been an amazing program, and it's a peer as well. I mean, most recovery coaches are in recovery themselves, so instead of going to a so-called expert that's going to tell you what you need to do, it's more about having a peer who will listen to you while you figure out what you need to do, because really someone we all are our own best expert at our life and our recovery. Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
what are some of the challenges that the folks the folks face? What are some of the challenges that you help support folks with?
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, a lot of the challenges we're facing, and I think a lot of people are facing, there's always an issue around transportation to a job. Childcare is often a barrier. Housing is a barrier. We all know about the housing shortage here in Vermont right now. But also to going to bat for people to say, hey, I have this significant experience, and just because I am diagnosed with substance use disorder, or I have these criminal charges in my past, doesn't mean that I'm not worth a second chance. And often we find that someone who has kind of been to a very low place and fought hard to get themselves out of there, they are some of the most loyal, dependable, hardworking employees you can want. So not only are we helping our associates by finding them jobs, but we're also really we are an excellent staffing agency as far as finding, workers with this labor shortage as well. So it really is, we're filling such a need, and it benefits the people that we're placing in jobs. It benefits the companies that are benefiting from those employees, and really our community as a whole. Yeah.
So how does it, I have two questions, actually.
All right.
Twofold question. How does it work for the employers? Like how do they contract with you, and how does that look? And then how does it work for the employees? Does someone just walk in the door? Do they have an initial interview with you? I mean, walk us through both of those paths.
Sure. So from the employer side, we sign contracts. So, I mean, if anyone, is watching this that is an employer, or, works for a company that's looking for people, you certainly can reach out to us. You can go right on workingfields.com, and there's a way to contact us there. So, so then once a contract is signed with an employer, and we've kind of gone over all those fine details of how it's going to work and the compensation, then we can start placing employees there. So it's the same contact right up there that he just shared, where you can email second chances at workingfields.com, or really the best way is to call on the phone. So if you're someone in our area who's wants to explore our services and help to get a job, if you call that number there, it's going to get routed to someone who's going to do a quick 5-minute phone screen, just get some basic information, and then they'll schedule an appointment right with me in my office, and we'll get to work, and we'll get to knowing each other. That's really another big benefit of our model, is we really take the time to get to know someone, and what kind of skills do they have, and what kind of job are they looking for. We're not looking to just put someone in a job where they're maybe not going to be happy or feel fulfilled. Our goal is to help people in long-term placements. So
So as far as the employers go, the people who have jobs, this is actually a neat thing, because you're sort of pre-screening, because it's to your benefit, it's to the program's benefit that people succeed in their jobs. And so you're doing
absolutely.
So you're doing a pre-screening and saying, well, I'm going to get someone who's the best fit for your job. And I think that's something that people might not quite comprehend, that you're just not putting anyone in there, that you know what the job is, you're pre-screening, and maybe even doing some coaching before the interviews and stuff like that. Am I right? Or
Oh, you're absolutely right. So this is where we're a big benefit to employers. So, right, not only are we taking the time to get to know someone, which really some of the larger national staffing agencies kind of are just trying to fill those numbers, right? Mm-hmm. They're trying to place people. So we're really getting to know them. There absolutely is coaching involved before we present them. And then the other benefit is during the whole time that they are an employee of Working Fields, even though they are placed in that company during that temporary period, our contract is for 5 months. So for those 5 months, we are available to those employers. So if there is an issue going on that someone is struggling to find transportation, the employer contacts us, and I immediately reach out to the placed employee. I reach out to their recovery coach, and we strategize around it. So what we're
Oops. I think we may have lost Matt there.
We did. I was just going to comment that, so from what I'm hearing, it's a win-win for the employer
Oh, yeah.
because,
Yeah.
so
I
they
lost
get,
you there. For
Yeah.
a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
We were just sort of saying that it was a win-win for employers because they get
they get a pre-screened employee, and then they get an employee that is getting some outside support. I mean, sometimes when you hire folks, whether substance abuse or not, as an employer, you kind of have to, you become the one that has to work out their transportation issues or their childcare issues. It kind of falls onto you sometimes, and this is the nature of things. So it's nice that in this case, the employers and employees are getting a second level of support.
yeah.
So
I
it totally
agree.
seems like a win-win all the
Yeah.
way around.
I mean, as an employer who used to hire people,
You used to yell at people? Is that what you're going to say?
I used to yell. I don't think I yelled at people, but
I don't think you do. That's why I
don't
wasn't
think I
sure.
did. But one of the things when I interviewed people, I would always say, the most important thing that you can do is show up to work, and that's really, I mean, because I don't think a lot of people have difficulty getting the work done, but there's just so many things outside of work that impact a person's ability to work, especially today with just everything with COVID
with
and kids
in school sometimes, and out of school times,
kids out of school and transportation. There's just so many things that have nothing to do with sitting down and doing your job that impact your work. And I think this is where a program like Working Fields really helps the employer.
Absolutely. And what we're finding is a lot of companies are already very supportive of folks that have some of these barriers, but their HR departments, like you said, are trying to work around strategizing with these issues where they don't necessarily have the time in their day to do it, but they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So absolutely, we can take that worry out of their mind. We can take that work off their plate and really just strategize to support everyone in the situation.
Yeah.
I saw that one of your strategies, I think it's out of your, not the office you're working out of, but maybe the White River office. You've just bought a van to help with transportation?
Oh, that's our South Burlington office.
Okay.
Yes.
I was too far south.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's very exciting. And actually, we are in the process of applying for a grant, knock on wood, to have our own van in Windsor County as well. So that's where we're really being proactive. That program has been very successful in South Burlington. So, we have our own van. We've hired a part-time driver that makes runs, that picks people up on their door, makes a run in the morning, drops everyone off at work, and then picks everybody up in the afternoon and drops them off as well. And especially in our rural area where public transportation isn't as strong, it's going to be huge. So, if you look for that in the coming months, as far as that exciting program that hopefully will happen here in Windsor County as well.
And you have a partnership with Turning Point. Do you want to speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, so that's been incredible. So typically in the other offices, Working Fields hires and maintains their own recovery coaches and has been very successful. And then here in Springfield, the Turning Point Center in Springfield is just so strong and so connected to the community. So we actually are partnering with Turning Point and working with their already established team of recovery coaches that already knows the community, already knows the resources and it's just been incredible. And to have my office right there, I mean, I've had people that have walked into Turning Point and are looking for help, with recovery. And then Mike Johnson, the executive director there, who's amazing, is able to say, oh, you're looking for work too? Well, just go knock on Matt's door. So the partnership has been seamless and just successful and a joy to be there. So it's interesting as we continue to grow, maybe, how that model could be used in other areas as well.
Yeah.
Nice. What are some of the employers that you currently work with?
So we are working with Vermont Packing House, which has been an incredibly successful partnership. We are working with Domino's Pizza here in Springfield, and we are working actually in your area with Whitney Blake, which has been another really positive connection. So
Nice.
That's great. We are
down to 4 minutes.
We are down to, we're down to 4 minutes, but I'd like to talk a little bit about people. We talked a little about the advantages to the employer, but to the employee, people watching that might be thinking about, hey, I could use this program. You guys must do a lot of work around interviewing and dressing for success and all of these things that, again, ancillary things that don't have anything specifically to do with work, but how do you get a job? And that's for people seeking work, how to get the job is probably the most important thing at this stage. And do you guys do coaching on that level?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we will help you prepare. We have a great resume builder that we use that I'm able to take your work experience, and within 10 minutes, you've got a professional looking resume. Nice. And so definitely as much support as people need around that. I've done mock interviews with people so they can practice. But also when we have a good relationship with employers, even if you've had struggles and you think, God, no place is going to hire me, because of the success we've had, we can get you a chance. We can get you a chance to prove yourself, where if maybe you just walked in off the street without us kind of saying, hey, we've talked to this person and they really are working hard on their life and they deserve a second chance, where we can help you get that because of that established connection, and help you with any bumps along the way that might happen as well.
That's great. Matt, I want to thank you. I'd like to invite you to come back at some point and talk more about the program, and maybe we could even talk with some people who have been through the program if that were possible. And then I want to give you a chance to give your contact information again so that people, either employers or people seeking employment, can come to you and get some help.
Yeah, so right there, workingfields.com, and actually explore the website. If you go on the website, and look for job search, it'll list a lot of, the jobs we have. And there's some wonderful, there's a YouTube video from our CEO and really speaks to what we do. His testimonials on there. He's in long-term recovery himself. He just celebrated 30 years. So this is a mission for him as well. So the website's a great resource if you want to learn more about what we do. There's also some testimonials from employers on there that we've worked with for a long time. So any businesses that kind of want to hear someone on the business side speak of it. So there's the numbers and the email, and I look forward to talking with anyone we can help.
Okay.
Great. That's awesome.
Thanks a lot, Matt. I think that's it for the feed this week. Next week we may have
Frontline Foundations.
And hope to see you then. It's Mike and Marty.
Bye,
Go to
community.
the Flannel Fest. Get a pie.